Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mike Lovell, the Chancellor of UWM. And a few days ago, I introduced Kyle Recklich as our new women's basketball coach. And I said on Tuesday that it was an excellent day for UWM Panther Athletics. Today, I'm revising that statement and saying this is an excellent week for UWM Panther Athletics. I'm very grateful that we're joined for this announcement by the Commissioner of the Horizon Link, John LaCrone. And I would like to specifically thank both John and Vice Chancellor Michael for their roles in helping us recruit our new athletic director. Now, it isn't often that a university gets to welcome a Hall of Fame performer to its active managing staff. The University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee has the rare opportunity today by naming Andy Geiger as its athletic director. Now, when I spoke to Andy last week, he said that he needed a sabbatical from his retirement. I'm really glad that Andy has decided to take a sabbatical at UWM. On Tuesday, when Kyle was introduced as our new women's basketball coach, she talked a lot about fit. Andy Geiger fits UWM in so many ways. His father was born and raised just a few blocks from here on Summit Avenue. His grandfather, Ferdinand, who Andy is named after, was a prestigious judge here in Milwaukee. And as Andy explained to me last week, he feels like he's completing a full circle back to his roots. Andy also fits our campus because we share the same leadership styles and values. In getting to know him over the last week, it is clear to me that he has the utmost integrity, is truly authentic, and is a very compassionate person. We believe Andy possesses the leadership qualities to bring stability and continuity to UWM athletics during this transitional phase. Andy's unparalleled breadth of experiences will fully support our coaches and significantly enhance the collegiate experiences of our athletic department's greatest asset, our student athletes. His administrative and facilities development expertise will also be immensely helpful as UWM embarks on a campus-wide strategic planning process. Now, during his tenure at Ohio State, athletic teams won 15 championships. And during his time at Stanford, the Cardinal won 27 national championships under Andy. The good news is I'm not going to put much pressure on you, Andy, because we'd be happy with one. Will you all please welcome the new athletic director at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, Andy Geiger.
Thank you, Chancellor Lovell. I'm delighted to be here, and thanks to all those that I've met in the last 10 days, because that's what this has really entailed so far, for their work in helping make this connection come together. I would like to also introduce somebody who's on my team and who's coming with me. Now, she's a Navy junior, and she's used to moving every 3 years, whether she wants to or not, and it's sort of happening again. This is our 10th move as a couple, and this is my wife, Eleanor, who's here. And we decided for reasons of an important milestone that this year we were going to do things that we haven't done before, or new and special things. On August 4th of this year, she and I will be celebrating our 50th wedding anniversary. So happy anniversary, dear. Here we are in Milwaukee. In 1957, I was a young freshman at Syracuse University, wearing a little beanie on my head, which they were allowed to do that level of hazing, I guess, in those days. Don't do it anymore, but it was the current badge of idiocy, I guess. You're 17 years old and don't know quite what you're doing. I was approaching the gymnasium, Archibald Gymnasium in the Syracuse campus to register for classes, and the rowing team had put 2 oars up on end and another oar across at 6 feet, and anybody who had to duck their head to get into the gym was picked up literally and carried down to the crew coach's office. And lo and behold, I got involved in rowing, which was my first experience in intercollegiate athletics. I had played high school basketball and discovered in that process that although I'm very slow, I can't jump. So I knew that there wasn't going to be basketball in my future, but rowing turned out to be a tremendous opportunity for me, and through it I learned discipline, I learned how to organize my time, I learned in an 8-oared shell that we're going to go as fast as the weakest guy will let us go, so I learned about peer pressure and organization and working together as a team and in a quintessential team sport. So I fell in love with college athletics, and up from 1957 until 2006, I spent all but 11 months of my life connected with a college campus in one way or another. And I cannot tell you how good it feels and how excited I am to be back on a college campus and to be part of a community once more, working on behalf, first of all, working on behalf of student athletes, maximizing their opportunity and trying to make sure that they had as good an experience and as quality a start in life as I did as a student athlete at Syracuse University. So first and foremost, the focus is on the student athlete. I believe that an athletic director's job is really three basic things. Find and retain the very best people that you can find or keep, and deploy them in proper ways. Give them something to do which best fits their capabilities. And then secondly, to make sure to the best of your ability that they have the resources to be successful in delivering their expertise to the student athletes. And thirdly, to work in the university community on the vision which Mike Lovell has just so beautifully articulated, the strategic planning and all the kinds of things that go forward into making an athletics program successful at its chosen level. Now, Mike mentioned that I'd been at Ohio State, and while at Ohio State, I was part of renovating Ohio Stadium, and I've walked around this campus, and I don't see room for a 105,000 seat stadium right now, nor is this a signal necessarily that we're going to do football or that we're going to try to remake this program or this place into some other place that I have been. I'm here to make this program, to work with the community here to make this program as good as it can be as it's defined by the institution and is appropriate for this community. I really believe in intercollegiate athletics as an important part of the educational mission, not only for the student athletes, but for everybody involved. We will be bringing people here and have brought people here who have a special gift, who add to the diversity of the place through the talent that they have. It happens to be, in our case, athletic talent. Out on the quadrangle this afternoon, I heard the jazz ensemble playing, and I thought how wonderful it is to have people at that level of skill and talent as part of this community as well. I see athletics as a companion to all of that. So with that said, I'm absolutely thrilled to be back in harness and to be the athletic director at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Both of my parents are graduates of the University of Wisconsin, although in Madison, not in Milwaukee. In fact, I think when they were here, this university probably didn't exist. At least this campus wasn't here. But I do have Wisconsin roots in that regard, and as Mike articulated. So once again, we are absolutely excited and delighted to be here. I met with the athletic staff, the entire athletic staff, at 12:30 today, because I thought it was really important for that to be my first stop on my first day on the campus. I will be in the office tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. ready to go, and already have many appointments scheduled. So I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm glad to be here. With that, we'll take any questions, and Mike, I think questions for either one of us, is that right?
And actually, before we move on to the questions, we do have a small gift. As Andy already mentioned, he's a pretty big jazz fan. In fact, I just heard from Eleanor that the first package that came to the residence was to that feature students at UWM.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll enjoy those very much. Any questions?
Andy, 1 year from now, July 20, I understand that's for. What do you hope to have accomplished?
To move the program as far forward as we possibly can in that period of time, and to, if I'm no longer the athletic director after that period of time, and that's an open question. We'll see how things go and see how I feel after 1 year. See how the university feels after 1 year. But the goal is to be as good as we can possibly be. I don't have a specific percentage of wins and losses, or a particular facility that will have been built, or any of those kinds of things. I would like to have as good a culture and spirit in a department and a university and an athletic community as we possibly can have. And my goal will be to be better next year than we are this year.
In the short amount of time you've been here, do you believe there's enough financial resources on this campus to not only stabilize what's happening here in the athletic program,
35 years as a college athletic director has taught me that there are never enough resources to do everything that we want to do. And as I said, I think number 2 on the list of the job description of the athletic director, if you want to boil it down to 3 things, number 2 is to garner resources. So I will be going everywhere I can go to meet people who are interested in this program, or who might be interested in this program. I also will do everything I can to work within the community to improve resources within.
Andy, you had a pretty big undertaking with the renovation of the stadium at Ohio State, and you made it pretty clear, obviously football is a long way off or whatever, but as far as you being hired, is one of the main things to at least explore and tap into your knowledge on maybe a new on-campus arena, facility, whatever? I
think that part of the overall strategic plan is to have a center on this campus that will host all kinds of things, convocations, concerts, including basketball games, if we can possibly do it. Now, that won't be built by June 30, 2013, but I certainly hope in partnership with Chancellor Lovell and his team that we make progress in that regard. And he's promised me that I will have a voice in the overall campus strategic planning, and I look forward with wholehearted enthusiasm in participating in that.
Chancellor, a question for you. Why did you take this approach to appointing someone of Andy's stature and why here? What was your thinking process on that?
Well, I think we as a campus are doing a strategic planning process, which will be done in about a year's time frame. And I wanted someone to come on board within the athletics department that had clear experience in doing strategic planning for athletics and coming in and helping us make the decisions we need to make our programs as great as they can be given the resources that we have on our campus. So when we approached Andy, we were so grateful that we had someone with such a high level of experience in the past going forward. So to me, it was a very easy decision to have someone like Andy come on board.
I will be here for individual meetings with members of the media if they would like to, and stand-ups with the TV if they want to do that. Are there any other questions at this point? From my behalf, thanks very much for coming.